Pantry, and today we are canning. I'm canning again. I'm doing a small batch. Had a little chuck roast that I didn't get a chance to cook. And you know how long chuck roast takes. I don't have a big Instant Pot, so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna jar it up. I already cubed this up and trimmed off the excess fat. There wasn't much. There was a couple little chunks I didn't want in my canning. And it measured out 4 jars. So I knew to fill my canner, it'll hold 3 regular mouth jars. And speaking of regular mouth, I'm gonna be using 4 jars lids today. I've got a link down below, and if you put in all capital letters, no apostrophe, Linda's Pantry, you'll get 10% off. And it's a fantastic price. It's better than the other name brands out there. And you can get them in bulk. Like this had 100 lids in here. So we're gonna be using, they come in a sleeve, or a couple of sleeves. We're gonna be using 4 jars from now on for button top lids. I've had a fantastic success rate, and I expect to absolutely going forward have the same. So, and you can buy wide or regular mouth. You can buy the lids and rings, and yeah, they're such a great company, and they're super, super fast. Canning season's upon us, so don't let it slip away before you get your lids, because you never know, we could have a shortage again. And I don't think they're making them quite as good as they were. So I decided to soak some black beans overnight, because I'm almost out of those in the pantry. I actually really need to do a big batch, but I thought I'll fill the canner with 3 pints of black beans, just plain with a little salt. And I'm gonna do a really delicious Asian-inspired beef. Now, I mixed that with beef better than bouillon, and it's the sauce. I should have probably brought you along for the sauce, but the sauce is very simple. It's garlic, onion, ginger, and I use Thrive garlic and Thrive minced onions, ginger, dried ginger or squeezed ginger, either way you want to go, brown sugar, soy sauce, a delicious blend of red pepper flakes, and it's going to be really, really good, and a little bit of Chinese 5 spice. So just to your taste, make it however you want, but I love that sauce when I'm making beef and broccoli. So this will be easy with fresh broccoli. Throw that beef in there, you don't have to wait, and it's already got the sauce thickened with the little cornstarch, and we have dinner. Okay, so that's what I'm going to make. A few jars of that, and it'll be something different to have on the shelf. I've got my black beans have been simmering away, and they've got another few minutes. So by the time I get these 4 jars filled with the meat, and I've already inspected my jars, once I get these filled, then I can move on and fill the black beans and get that going. I have my tea kettle going for hot water for over the beans, because I use fresh water. When you soak overnight, you heat them up and you use fresh water for everything, you don't get gassy beans. Just an FYI. Okay, so my meat hand, and we'll get to canning. All right, come on in. Okay, so because I did portion my meat all out, I'm gonna go ahead and divvy up the meat like I did yesterday. As I cut the meat up, I filled a jar. So you're going to end up with an inch of headspace. I do want liquid in there. I want some kind of sauce for the end result, right? So we'll go ahead and fill all these up. And the glove just makes it easier to clean up. I don't have to stop the camera and wash my hands. I can just keep going for you guys. So this chuck roast was $2.99, excuse me, $2.99 a pound. And I think they're still on sale until tomorrow. So see, I'm not filling it super tight or super full. We're gonna just adjust it as we see once I get all 4 jars. This is enough for 2 people easily, protein wise. That's more than enough for 2 people. And then we'll get this done. And so any of you that have ordered, because I know several of you have ordered 4 jars lids through my link, if you've used them, please throw a comment down below and let everybody else know that you like them or you don't like them. It's one thing to hear it from me, but it's another thing to hear it from another subscriber that actually bought them. So I just divvied up the meat even, and now I'm ready for sauce. Take my glove off. That's how easy it is. And this is basically a prep-a-day, can-a-day, because I got all my jars cleaned and inspected yesterday. I made my sauce yesterday, which I should have filmed, but I didn't. I cut up my meat. I was ready to go. So when I got home from work, I'm ready to can, right? I soaked my beans. So all these things can be done well in advance. Now the meat's cold and the sauce is hot. And again, it's a better than bouillon base with the sweet flavors, and oh, it's so good. I don't know if you, and so you're gonna debubble really, really well down the center, down the sides, because I want, see how that headspace changes? I definitely want a inch of headspace. And lots of garlic and onions. The fried garlic and onions, they float a little bit, so that's okay though. They're so stacked full of flavor though. Okay, that could use a little bit more. I might even debubble again and see what happens. There we go. So again, I want this loose. This liquid that's in here will act as a catalyst to get the heat to the center of the jar, which is what you want in pressure canning, to prevent and kill any botulism, spores, or anything like that that's going on. See, I already lost a little bit more headspace, just debubbling. So you want to get that back up to 1 inch. We're gonna go ahead and wipe the rim. Whether you think anything's on there or not, it could be. I'll be right back, because I left my lids over there in the wash tub. I gotta get them. Okay, so I got my lids, and even though I washed them and separated them, they still will stick together a little bit. So I wiped the rim of my jar. Now this is warm but not hot. It's not gonna shock the jar. My canner is at about 180. You're just gonna snug those down finger tight. And look at that. Yes, it's going to be delicious. And if you want to come back for the post-canning chat, I'm going to cook this up with some fresh broccoli and some jasmine rice. Okay, in the canner it goes. And we're going to wait for all of the jars. So I've turned my canner off to just get it to stay, you know, happy. It doesn't have to be hot over there. Okay. And let me know what kind of sauce you use on your broccoli stir fry, because I'm telling you, it's so good. With this sauce, it's really, really good. So delicious. Oh my gosh. Okay, do I have an inch? I do have an inch of headspace. And so I'm going to just wipe that rim. And you need that inch of headspace because this is going to expand when it gets really hot. It will expand in the canner. And if you have too much headspace, it's going to push product out from under that lid. That's why you only fingertip tight, so it can vent and release steam out of there, but you don't want the product to leave. So patience is your friend when canning. All right, in the canner she goes, and we'll rinse and repeat, and then I'll bring you back when we're doing beans. Okay, so now we're back for the beans, and I need a slotted spoon. So I get these out of the jar. These are par cooked. They're not done. They're going to finish in the jar. So black beans are one of my favorite things to can. They keep their texture. They're great on a salad. They make awesome, awesome refried beans. These are going to continue to expand. So about 3/4 of the way full. I don't overfill those either. It's not worth it. I usually end up with the perfect amount. So about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way. And when I measured them out dry, I measured out a 1/2 cup per pint. to be on the safe side. And hopefully we've got enough to fill all 3 jars. And if not, we'll have 2 jars, but I'm starting to get a little worried about that. Okay, that one's good. And now we'll get this last one. They're kind of hard to wrangle up in the mix. Now I could have done the beef with a Mexican flair, and I had thought about making a chili Colorado with it. That would be delicious. But I already had beef broccoli in mind for this week, so it was a no-brainer to do that and then do your taste test for you. And yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pour off the rest so I can get these all in the jar, and we'll get these evened up. Okay, just over 2/3 of the way. Okay, 2/3 of the way. Perfect. And I evened it out because I measured everything. So that was exactly a 1/2 cup per jar. So you see they swell quite a bit because that's over a cup in each jar. I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is kosher salt, and it doesn't matter. You just don't want iodized salt in your canning. It more than anything, it turns your stuff cloudy because of the additives. This is just pure salt. So hot water going in, fresh hot water to 1 inch of headspace, and these are going to go down in the canner with the meat, and they can for the same amount of time. So my altitude is 10 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes. 75 minutes, that's it. So I go ahead and deep bubble. Look at that, beautiful beans. And again, all that liquid is going to be the catalyst that gets the heat to the center of the jar. And I feel like this one is a little full, so I'm going to take a little bit of that water. We're going to go right over here. And a little, just so they're all even. And there we go. Wipe the rim. Wipe the rim. Wipe the rim. Did I get salt in each one? I think I did. Anyway, if I didn't, then we'll have a couple that are salt-free, but I did. Okay. Put my lid on, and these rings are, like, again, they're just strictly to hold that lid down during the canning process, and then once it does all its venting and it starts cooling, it's going to cause a vacuum and seal that puppy down. So, and all I do with the 4 jars lids is wash them. Now when I'm water bath canning, I will put them in some warm water, but the sealant on them is so nice and thick, and the button top and the metal, very nice lids. Okay, and reasonably competitively priced and readily available. Okay, in the canner it goes. I'm going to bring my canner up to where it will vent steam out of the petcock, a steady stream of steam, and then once that happens, we'll time that for 10 minutes. As soon as that is done, we'll put the weight on for my altitude, and when it starts dancing and doing the little dance, we will start the timer for 75 minutes. All right, and here we go. I'll bring you back when I got something else to show you. Okay guys, so this came off of pressure. It canned for 75 minutes. It came off of pressure, and I get the lid where I let out some of the steam and just let it acclimate to the room temperature. It's cooler in the house today because it's really hot outside, so we have the air running. But I like to do this because I don't want the jars to evacuate anything. So I try really hard to keep that down to a minimum. And the water looks pretty clear. I had a little bit of siphoning, but not much. I kind of expected it with the temperature changes, but there's the black beans, and you can see there's plenty of liquid in the top. So black beans, let's get those out. And I'm excited to have black beans on the shelf again. I only have a couple jars left, and we eat them with taco salad as a side dish, and throw a little salsa in there. So yeah. Okay, so I think that maybe the beef might have siphoned a little bit. These don't look like they did at all. So nice black beans. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring the jars of beef. But again, the water's pretty clear, so it's all good. And this is an Asian inspired beef that we'll have with beef and broccoli over jasmine rice. So I'm really excited. It's sweet and savory, and it's got a little bit of that acidity from the vinegar. So I will bring you back for a post-canning chat and do a taste test, and maybe I can get JD to help me out with that. I'll make some broccoli and rice, and we'll have that. Look at that, beautiful. And what a great way to put an inexpensive chuck roast on the pantry shelf, and we now have that accessible. We don't have to worry about power going out. We don't have to worry about not having room in the freezer or not using it up in time. It's there when we need it, and I don't have to worry about cooking it for hours. So again, I hope if you like this sort of content, you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and give me a thumbs up, share it on your social media, and I will see you next time with a taste test and I'm going to have a post-canning chat, and I'm going to talk about 4 jars lids with you and see if they all sealed, and what I'm doing in my pantry to make sure I've got everything I need in the future to continue to stock my shelves. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.